Hello everybody, welcome back to the Carvers Woodshop. I'm going to wait a little bit until some people arrive and wait till some people come into the room. So, it's been a cold day here today. We actually saw some snow flurries today. But I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes here so we can get some people on. Hello everybody, welcome. There we go. More people are showing up, that's good. Alright. Thank you. It's good to be back. It's a little slow, but I think we'll be all right today. The wrist is a little swollen, but I can work with it today. So, well, let me share with you what I've been doing. I did do a little bit of carving when my hand was messed up, or my wrist, and here is what I came up with. I used to do the gnomes like this. Hello, Jenny and Jack. This is the one with the candy cane. So I made a Santa style critter, and it's a lot more white, but with a candy cane. And then I decided to make another Santa critter holding a wreath. So I'm not sure which way we're going to go tonight. I think because of the first time doing this again for a while, I think I'm going to go with a little more simpler version of it, and I'll show you some other things that you can do. I also did the cat, finished the cat with the Santa hat, and the cat looking out from a Santa hat. So, just to give you a quick update, my arm it's been a few weeks now, I think 7 or 8 weeks, and I did go for therapy this morning. It was very swollen, but I don't quite have the strength in my hand. I busted it right here, and the bigger bone, the radius bone and then I chipped it on the other side. That's giving me some problems as well. And turning it completely over is a little tough to do, but I've been able to carve. I carved a lot on Saturday. I did 3 pieces, and I paid for it on Sunday. But anyway, everything's good. It will get better as time goes on. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get the strength back into it. But anyway, well, the piece that we'll need tonight is a 1.5 by 1.5 by 2.5. This is the ornament style. Alright, and what I ended up doing was what you do is put the hat on first, okay? And then you droop it down a little bit, and then you put a circle for the nose. Okay, we're going to do the candy cane, so we're going to put another thing right here. Where his hands are going to be. And then we're going to do a candy cane like so. Okay, just like so. We can bring this down a little bit more. Alright, so let's get started. You're going to need a knife. You're going to need a piece of basswood. Put on your glove or thumb guards if you have them. It's highly recommended. And I always start with the hat. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to push in and chip it out a little bit. This was the hard part to do, is having the strength in my thumb. And it's definitely come back pretty good. I can do small stuff. I don't dare do anything really big right now. But that will come. I will be open this Saturday again. It was a pretty good day last Saturday. I had several people come in, and it was a good sale day, so I'm not complaining at all about that. And we will be open again this coming Saturday and every Saturday in December from 9 to 5 at 930 Burdell Road, Honeybrook, PA 19344. So if you're in the area, please come and join us. And a mask is required because of the space being so small. Okay, once you do all the corners and you notch them out, just like I did here, I'm going to take my little, I'm going to do something here, folks. Just hang on a second. There we go. We're going to take our V-tool and we're going to follow this hat down and around. So this is going to be a critter for Christmas. And there's several ways you can do this. I'm going to show you that a little bit later. Alright, and then we're going to go to the back side here. And just kind of connect the dots a little bit. It's a little bit off, but that's alright. And same thing here. It's alright if it's a little bit off, it doesn't matter. Alright, so what I usually do after I do all four, I take my knife and I just go ahead and cut again right along that and cut that out. I'll tell you, when you don't have use of that thumb, I put it in that vise, and the first week I broke my wrist, and I'll tell you, I felt like a new beginner at carving. It was really weird, but all is good. I decided to go for the therapy because I want full use of the hand again, so I thought I'll just go ahead and bite the bullet and pay what I need to get that taken care of. So I go twice a week for the next 4 weeks, and we'll see where it is after that. And some exercises at home, of course. But I told him that I was a carver, so he's giving me exercises to help strengthen the hand up even more. So I was thankful that he kind of is tailoring it to that, some of the exercises and such, and that's worked out pretty good. And the other thing I bought a not a Rumba brand, but I bought one of those automatic carpet cleaners. I absolutely love it. Those robots, and it picks up all the chips that I don't get or float around every so often. That follow me around the house. It's been great. I don't care how hard I try not to drag them around, but I end up dragging them around. And so I got the iHome self-dispensing one. It was on sale for Black Friday. Oh, well, they had a Black Friday sale a couple of weeks ago. Picked one up, and I really, really like it. It's really nice. My sister was here. We're going to do the nose here. My sister just left for Canada. This is the first time she was down in 22 months. It was good to see her. We had Thanksgiving together, so that was nice. We had it outside. We had a good time, and she's safe back home now. But it was a bit of a dilemma trying to get a test for her to go back. The test that she had was canceled, and so we had to scramble to find another place to get a COVID test so she could go back. All right, now, but we found it, and it took a while. But we're going to go ahead and cut this out here. So we're going to go straight in, like parallel with the nose. So I'm going to just go up here, and I'm going to push in here, and I'm just going to bring that out and around. And I'm going to also cut it a little bit at the top here. So I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. You folks in the States, I know you Canadians already had yours. So, considering that Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, I actually could have it twice every year. It just dawned on me. Okay, so we're going to do the other side of the nose as well. And up underneath. And hope everybody's keeping busy with carving and that you got a lot of your projects done already. My inventory is very low at my shop this year. I really... you're welcome, Marianne. really low. I usually have like 240, well, 220 pieces ready to go by the time I open. I think I have 140, and I have another 10 that I just did, so about 150. I was hoping to replace what I sold at the Apple Fest. That was absolutely fantastic this year. So I'm going to round this nose off a little bit, maybe make it a little bit shorter. There we go. Just a little bit long. But I had all that intention to do that, but other things got in the way. That branch got in the way. Oh my goodness, what a mess that was. But like I kept telling everybody, it will heal and it will be fine. It's fixable, I kept telling people. Oh, Christine, I know the feeling. I think the first couple of weeks I was able to carve some. The second half of the recovery I couldn't because the cast was so annoying, and I had some swelling and stuff, and it was just so achy that I couldn't put any pressure hanging on to it. So I just decided to wait a couple of weeks before I did any more carving, which I'm glad I did. Alright, so the nose is pretty well finished. We're going to do this a little different. We usually do, I have it here, I can show you. We usually do the feet on the side. We're going to change that up a little bit. We're going to put them in the front, as you can see here. It's in the front. So, what we'll do, all you do is make a little upside down U, and you take your V tool and you just follow this out. I'm going to lean it on the thing so it doesn't put as much pressure on my hand here. I told the therapist today I want to do a class. I said, okay, take some Tylenol. He goes, yeah, do it an hour before you start. I said, okay. And that's exactly what I did. It's amazing what 2 little pills can do for you. Alright, you're going to do both feet the same way. Boots. These are going to be little boots. And, alright, that's how you start. Now, this one looks a little bit bigger, so we're just going to bring this down a little bit. I do the initial cut with the V-tool. It's just a little easier. So what I do is I follow that out a little bit more, and then I go back and I recut it to make it a little bit deeper. We want it to really stand out, and that you can round it up a little bit, and I'll show you that in a second here. So this is a little different. You can do this with any of the Santas if you want. Actually, what they did, Marianne, today, and I never had it done, they put my hand in wax. They had 3 coatings of wax up to past my wrist, and wrapped it up in a hot towel. It was a little warm, but I'll tell you, when my hand came out of that, any achiness I had in my hand from arthritis was gone. Now it's back again a little bit, but boy, he said some people buy the home ones that you can buy on Amazon if you have arthritis, and I thought, I know what I'm going to get later on. It was wonderful. And once they peel it off, your skin's really soft. It was really amazing. I've never really heard about that before. And he said, oh, you're going to love this. And I go, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the wax is really, really, it was warm, but it doesn't burn you or anything. But it really did help the achiness and help me do the exercise a little bit better. Okay, so that's what you want to do. You want to make it a little bit deeper on both sides. And, well, the exercises is more squeezing back and forth and wrapping a towel around my arm so I can turn it. I can't turn my hand very far this way. So that's the hiccup. You can see this down here and the bruising. This really is all torn up a little bit, but the chip was on this side, but the break was on this side. So it really did tear it up a little bit, and it's going to take some time for that to heal. But I'll go to him again on Thursday. Okay, we're going to cut out the little hand next. We're just going to, let me just put a little thing at the top here. We know where to go, and then we're just going to take our little V tool and just follow that little line. So So now I'm going to bring this down a little bit, just a tad. Bring this down just a little bit as well. Alright, so I'm going to follow this line for just a little bit on each side, just to make it stand out a little further for the hands. And we're just going to go around and cut a little bit out on either side. It's not going to be difficult to do. These are really fun to do because there's no eyes to worry about. They can be done pretty quickly, depending how sharp your knife is in the wood and what design you want to put on here. Now I'm going to round this off a little bit underneath and to the feet. I'm just going to chop it off like so. Hello, Lynn. So, alright, now we're going to bring this down a little bit over here, and this down over here, up underneath. I'm going to taper this hat a little bit. Each corner is going to come out a little bit here. Okay. Now, I'm going to stop with this portion. We're going to go to the hat. Usually I do the hat first, but I get a little bit carried away with that. So we're going to just start scooping this out. We're going to put a little tassel on this side. So I already drew this out. Okay, we just made a little half circle on either side of the corner. And a little, like a little, where the tassel's going to go here. I'm going to wet it up a little bit, spray it to make it a little softer for me. So I don't have to put as much pressure on it. I usually do this all the time, it's just not now. It's pretty wet now, but yeah, that works pretty good. I'm going to use a different knife because I want a little bit more oomph when I pull this. Yeah, the weather has been a lot colder. We saw snow for the first time today. Just brief stuff. It wasn't really that crazy, but just some flurries today. So what I do here, once you notch the top and the bottom down, I just follow this going straight in, parallel with the corner. I just go around this way. And I go on the other side and do the same thing. And then right there, where it comes out, the rest of the hat. And then I take my knife and I go back and I sweep that out. Now if that doesn't come free in that corner, you just want to go back and hit it a couple more times. There's your tassel. Okay, we're going to do the other side. I'll use my thumb pushing it up. Okay. There it is. Okay. We're going to round this off just a tiny bit right there. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Start. I do have a hard time carrying boxes and stuff right now. When Ann was here, we were cleaning some stuff out, and I'll tell you, I had a hard time carrying, lifting things sideways. If I'm just picking it up from the floor, it's okay, but it's the strength this way. It's really tough. So that will come over time, I'm sure. They said it can take up to 6 months to a year for all that to come back, but that's okay. As long as I can carve a little bit, I'm happy. That's okay, Mark. I'll put all this on YouTube later, folks. So if you missed it, you don't have to worry about it. You can watch it later on YouTube from the beginning. And I usually put it on the same night, so probably by no later than 10 o'clock I'll have it up there on the Carvers Woodshop website. So, alright, so now I'm going to, since I made that deeper down there, I'm going to I think it's been a long few days for all of us, Milton. It's been a long week with the holidays, and now everybody's gearing up for Christmas. Yeah. Let's make this a little bit deeper. Sometimes when you make it a little bit deeper underneath, it just looks a little better. A little bit more, it gives it a little more depth to it, to your piece. Okay, there we go. Alright, so this is going to be, now you have a couple of choices here at this point with the hat. You can leave it the way it is, like this, and just leave the little tassel on it as more of a gnome feature. If you want to put the Santa hat on, you can. That's not a problem to do that. We're going to put a Santa hat on this one, and we're going to follow that out in a little bit. And we'll go ahead and put the brim on. And so it's really up to you. You can also, where's my other one? I don't have it here. They're all in the office. They're all in the shop. You can just leave the normal gnome, and you don't need to put the Santa hat. But I'm doing this more for Christmassy, is to give this critter a Santa hat. So, hello, Lori. Welcome, welcome. So, we're going to go ahead. What do you want to do? Make sure you do is take off all this rough stuff. Otherwise, that's going to show up later if you end up painting. I had a lot to paint yet. I have another like 10 pieces to paint. So I'll probably be doing that tonight for a while after I'm done here. Or who knows, I might just watch another holiday movie. Whatever strikes me. I'm just going to make that hat a little bit more longer. There we go. So, but like I said, you want to take all that rough stuff off. If you don't, it's going to look kind of weird. Then what happens when you paint it, those areas that you don't clean up, say if I didn't clean any of this off here with a knife and make it like this, when you go to paint it, this will look much darker than the other part. It'll look kind of blotchy. So you want to make sure you take your knife. Actually, your knife becomes like your sanding paper. You know, you're just taking everything off. And now, when I was hurting a lot more than I am now, I would be watching, I'd be using one of these. Now, this is a Rammelson, and I had a shorter one that was maybe up to here, if I had to guess, okay? And this is really nice to cleaning off. If you have it flat enough, it's really nice to be able to take some of this stuff off without, you know, I had it in the vise, and that's how I cleaned it up instead of trying to use my knife. Now, I thought I had sharpened this enough. There we go. And you can use this to clean it up as well. But right now I'll use the knife because that seems to be working better for me. The smaller one works better than that one. But you can just go ahead and clean everything up, and it's a nice way to do it. A lot of people use gouges and such, which is fine. And they get used to using them all the time for different types of carving. Not just for relief carving, but carving in the round. That's what we're doing here. I'm going to switch knives here in a second. Let me switch the blade. And let me, if I can get this thing out. Of course I can't right now. Let's see if I can. There we go. That's what you want. A real nice sharp knife. And then you can clean everything up really nicely. And you're going to do the same thing with the beard. Even though the white doesn't show up, you'll see the texture would be different. So you want to make sure you clean all that up. Alright, so let's go down here. I'm just going to... Okay, we've got to do our little... this is going to be the toughest part. So what I'm going to do is, I have this drawn on here. Let me see if I can make that a little clearer for you guys. For you folks. There we go. That's the line we're going to follow. Okay. But I usually use a parting knife, parting tool for it. So kind of follow it a little bit on the outside of that line. Otherwise, it will get kind of too skinny if you don't. Okay. And then I always rotate this with this hand. So if I'm going to, I rotate the piece. I keep my tool stationary pretty well. And I just rotate, do a little bit of both, but more I rotate the piece than I do my hand to make that loop here. And then when I go in here, I'm going to move over a little bit, and I'm just going to rotate, just like so. Hello, Joyce. And Jan. So, let's just bring this back out and around. I'm going to try to bring this one more time. It takes a little practice to get that the way you want it, but that's usually how I do it. So and then I take my knife and I follow it again, and I just take it very, very carefully, and I move my piece more than my hand. Okay. I mean my knife. I'm going to go all the way around. Yes, it's beeping. Very good. I wondered what... Yeah, I need to change the batteries on that. Very good. I kind of tuned it out. I guess I shouldn't do that. That's the whole point of it beeping, I guess. Yes, when I got that new vacuum cleaner, Marvin wasn't too happy with it. He was slightly spooked out by it. but it's a little thin down there, but that's okay. Yeah, Marvin wasn't happy. He went running when that Rumba went around the house. And the reason I got it was I drag chips all over the house a lot of times. As much as I vacuum and try to catch it all, I never do. And it's nice to come into a house and have it catch all the little chips all over the place. Does a pretty good job. So there you go. Now we're going to clean this up here. Bring this all down. We're doing one of these today. Okay. And usually I round that off to the feet. You want that to stick out. Yeah, I have two of these smoke detectors beeping. I need to change those batteries out. It's amazing. Yeah, Marvin wasn't too thrilled with it. He went hiding. When my sister came, he went hiding also. He's not used to other people around at all. He has yet to come in today. He still thinks somebody else is here. But it's funny. So I'm just going to go around and clean all this up and level this out a little bit more, and then we'll put his beard in, and then we'll be on. Oh, we have to do the what do you call it? The brim of his hat yet. So I will be at the Lancaster show in March. I think it's the weekend of the 10th. March is going to be a busy, busy time. But it all depends what's going to happen here with everything going on. I'm just rounding off the back. This will be his beard as well back here. And yeah, I like doing these. These are a lot of fun. You can do a lot of different things with them. I also have them holding a package. So you can do it either way. You can just leave them without anything and just a Santa hat. You can have them holding a candy cane. You can have them holding a wreath. You can have them holding a package. Whatever you want. You can be creative. Okay, so let's see if I can pull some of this stuff off here. We're going to take the longer one. That might work. Sometimes you have a longer blade, you can reach a little further, just like that. Alright, so that's one side. Let's see if we can clean up this side a little bit more, because I'm not going to I need to make sure I clean everything up. Like I said, it will look really strange when you go to paint it, especially the red. The white's not as big of a deal. Now the feet, I kind of round that off, the boots here, and I round it down a little bit. Okay. We're getting there, folks. Next week I think we'll do the cat. So if you're interested in doing the cat, we'll probably do it with the no eyes. He looks a little spooked out like Marvin did this week. So, but it's good to be back. It's been a long while. I'm just going to round off that a little bit. I'm just going to start doing some cleanup on this a little bit later, but especially on this. You just want to kind of make sure you take all the square edges off is most important. Okay? Now, a couple of things yet. We're not quite done with it yet. Most of the rough stuff is off. Yes, I've done a Christmas puppy already. Little dog. I have. Yep. I'm not happy with that yet. Hang on just a second here. Alright. So once you get to this point, we have to put the brim on. So this is what we're going to do here. The brim isn't that difficult to put on. You know, the brim is basically the same every time you do it. But I always sketch it out first so that the brim stays pretty well the same size all the way around. And I like a little thicker. I don't like them really thin. It's like everything in my carvings. Big eyes, big nose, fluffy stuff. It all makes it a cute factor when you do that. If you don't, you know, skinny faces, skinny nose, they don't have that cute factor. Most of the time they don't. Sometimes they do. It depends. I'm just going to clean off this tassel a little bit. And here we go. I don't remember if I did the Christmas dog online. I don't think I did. I'll have to look it up and see if I do. I'm not 100% sure if I did. I have so many videos I haven't finished yet, and I need to get them done before March for the show. The other thing I'm going to do is do a lot of my knives for that show as well. Okay, so now we're going to take the V-tool after you mark this down, and that does not look even. Hang on just a second. I'm going to come down like this. It's too thick up there. Okay. I'm going to follow this line. Notice how I put my thumb against it. I just slowly go around. And little strokes like this is a lot safer than trying to do it all at once. And then you can keep seeing if you're still on track with the lines and stuff when you do it this way. Okay. Now there, at the hat, you just kind of chip it out a little bit. I'm going to take a short break here for a second, folks. Let me give my hand a little bit of a rest. Okay. Now usually when I get this portion done, then I go back with a knife and do the same thing. Take your knife and you're going to cut all the way around. This does two things. It makes it a little bit deeper, and when you go to paint it, if it's a little bit deeper than what you actually cut out, it's like putting a line across. It will keep the paint from bleeding from one to the other. And when I usually paint from the center towards the edge, because if your brush is really wet, you want to make sure you get it up here, not at the edge where it can bleed into the other side. So it's a good habit to get into. We're just going to take off a little bit here. Okay, that looks good. Go down this way. So you really want that brim of the hat to look like it's sticking out further than the hat itself. That fluffy look to it. Okay. And then I go back again and I take off this little hard edge. What I mean by hard edge is when it's squared off. Just kind of round it a little bit. Still a little blocky there, but the block that I'm carving mark is 2.5 inches high by 1.5 by 1.5 basswood. Okay. I know people get really mixed up with that, but this is the ornament size. For all my ornaments, it's all the same. It's 2.5 by 1.5 by 1.5, and then slightly tapered. You can see it's slightly tapered when you look at it. It's slightly tapered about midway all the way up, about 1/8 of an inch off each side from the top, and then taper it to the center. Alright, so let me take a quick look at this here. It doesn't look quite right. Okay, so we're pretty well done with everything here. I'm just going to keep fussing with the hat a little bit more. I can do that later. Now, the next thing we got to do is the hands here. So I'm going to just take all the rough stuff off here, round it up a little bit more, and then I'm going to take a little V tool, and we're just going to separate a little portion of this. A little bit of a curvature. So it looks like two hands on top of each other. And you can see how I have it there. Okay. And then I take my knife and I kind of cut that out a little bit so it looks like it's more underneath. And then I turn it upside down and I use my knife just to make it more crisp V cut. Okay, so that's the little fingers that you see. Alright. Okay, now the feet, I have a little, you see a little, I don't know if you can see that or not, it's a little bit of a heel there, or a sole. So, and it's slightly rounded as you can see. At this point, Christine, I am not doing another nativity set, or doing blocks for that taller one. That taller one is on YouTube. You can find that. It's an older set. You can certainly go online and find it on my YouTube channel. Alright, so what I do here again is I take my knife, I just cut across, and I just take this. You don't have to do this, but I always do it to make it look a little more like the sole sticking out from the shoe a little bit. Just like so. Okay. Now we're ready. I'm gonna spray it, and we're gonna put all the hair and stuff. If I wouldn't drop it, hang on just a second. Okay. Let me spray it with the rubbing alcohol and water. That way it will make it a little bit more softer. These little critter guys have really gone very, very quickly. I sold quite a bit at the Apple Fest in Hay Creek, or at Hay Creek over there at Joanna Furnace. Alright, so now this is all kind of nice and wet. So I'm going to go, you can see the direction this is going. So I'm just going to do portions of this. I'm not going to do all of this online. But I always work towards the edge. And sometimes I go in a different direction a little bit. Okay. And then I go back, I turn it around, and the direction I'm going in, then I go down. I kind of go in the same direction, a little bit at a slant, and then I go around the corner here. Same thing here. I always do it a little bit towards the left. And once I get this all done here, this is a little tedious, but I like doing it. And it's so much easier when you have a little V-tool that works really, really well. It makes it a pleasure to do it, actually, because you can do it pretty quick, as you can see. And then I do the middle line, and I go different directions with that as well. And that matches the two up. Okay, and that's how you get that look. Actually, you're doing 3 rows, if you really think about it. Alright, so I'm not going to finish the rest of that. You go all the way around the same way. You know, and that works out pretty good. Now here, I usually try to take little strokes here around the, and if it doesn't come free, you could take your knife and you go back in and free it up. I take little strokes all the way down. And you kind of crisscross it a little bit. It usually works. And then when I get to the shoes, I turn it over and I work towards the shoe to get a nice, you know, nice and tight. Okay, so when you work around this stuff, you just be very careful. Take little strokes is okay. And you notice this is not coming free. So what you want to do is just take your knife and just chop them out a little bit. See? They'll come right out. So that works out really well. Alright, so that's kind of how you work around your... I always work towards an edge. Okay. That's how the one side is done. Now we'll do over here. Same thing. We're just going to keep going. I'll work again towards the foot. Now if it looks too repetitious, then you just go back over it a little bit. A couple of different smaller strokes again. And that kind of breaks it up. And then I always work around to the back side, because that's also supposed to be hairy all the way around. From underneath the hat. And I work from the, always work towards the edge. I'll have another one to paint tonight. Okay. So you see how I got around the corner here? You just keep making little strokes and making sure you don't have any flat areas around, alright? And that's usually how it works. Thank you for your questions tonight. I hope I found most of them. I can't look at the screen and carve at the same time. I don't have that ability yet, but Now, let me take a look at this. That looks pretty good. That's done on the bottom. I'm going to keep going with the hat because I just want to get it done tonight. So, I'll try to get some other projects going again in a couple more in December. I don't know if I have another one right away next week, but I'll let you know. I think I will. Next Tuesday have another class of some sort. We'll probably do the cat if you want to do the cat. By then my hand might be a little bit better. It's doing pretty good. Right now the Tylenol kicked in pretty quick, so I hope that you're enjoying all the carving stuff that's going on right now. You're all ready for Christmas. I tell people you can't start this in November and try to get all your gifts done. It doesn't work that way. Same thing with myself. I actually started in January for the next year. And I have some new ideas again for next year. Everybody, when people come back, they always want to see something new and different. And that's the hard part. You know, you have the stuff you like doing and that was a good seller or people were very, very interested in buying, but they always want to see something different, a little bit different, a little bit new. The critters were new this year, for sure. Hi, Jen and Jack. Good to see you guys, too. I had a great time with Ann here, and we got a lot done. If you guys decide to come down, you let me know. Okay, there's our critter. Oh, I forgot one thing, the tassel. So the tassel, I just do little strokes towards the outside first. I did this one pretty quick. Been at this not quite an hour. You know, and then the paintings always takes a while. Okay, once I do the outside, then I go back and I do another little round on the inside until I don't see any more flat surfaces. There you go. And there's our little critter. I hope you enjoyed this simple project, but if you're a beginner, this is an excellent project to do. It really is a fun, it's a unique way of carving, and it's just a lot of fun. And if your hands give you any trouble, these smaller ones should be easier to do. All right, folks? All right, well, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time around, hopefully next week. We'll try to get one of the cats done. Okay? Take care, and have a wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye, folks.